We are back. Revinyl, season 3, episode 1. Man, we made it that far.
2026 is our year, everybody's year. Let's just get ready to celebrate. And what better way to do so than with a little bit of Revinyl?
Yeah, and we just keep getting better with age. I love it.
I
Cheers
don't know
to
about
that.
that, but
Well, we've got a lot of fun stuff we're going to talk about today. We're going to do our Uncut. We're going to do 10 random selections, which we've been doing for a while. We did it starting all the way back early in season 1. So we'll go through that. Always a fun time. The top 500 records of the 90s. And then I'm going to do something fun with end of 70s and end of 80s, top 10 UK and US singles. We'll just run through those. You've got a surprise or two for me. I'll start off by saying I was in Charlotte for Christmas, as we do every year. For those that don't know, I live in Athens, Georgia. Charlotte's about 3 to 3.5 hours from Athens. We drive up there on Christmas Day every year with our family to see my wife's family. And I make a point to always go to a record store while I'm there. And it used to be Manifest for years that I would go to every time I went to Charlotte. But the past few years, it's a place called Noble Records. They have a really good, I know you're familiar with them. They have a really good presence on social media. Love Noble Records. It is just like you, I've been to record stores all over the country, all over the world. Noble Records they're as good as it gets. They do a great job with their curation. They buy great collections. Last year I bought a bunch of Voice of America military radio station, U.S. military, and they bought up a lot of that collection. So I bought a lot of those last year. This year I went wild again. Bought a lot of great records. Got a couple of Mark Knopfler albums, Sailing to Philadelphia and The Golden Heart. Got both of those. Those are only available through the box set. They actually bought those from a guy that had broken apart the box set, so they had those sold separately individually, and I bought them. I bought both of those. Love both of those albums. Love Mark Knopfler's solo stuff. I got J.J. Cale Troubadour. Love J.J. Cale. Got one of his I got Troubadour. I got the Analog Productions, which is the highest end, I think, it's like a MoFi, right? So I
yeah, they're
bought that.
fantastic.
Man, and then I bought some white label promos that they had. I went wild. So thanks to the guys at Noble Records. Keep up the great work. They're really good guys too. That's the cool thing. I really like those
Nice.
guys. So
Yeah, he's
that
a cool
makes it
guy.
even, yeah.
I follow him on YouTube. He seems as genuine as they come. So really
And
cool
he's
guy.
hustling. It is not easy to run a used record store. You know that, Craig. You've done it. You've owned one. You've also you ran a couple of record stores. It's hard work. I mean, some
It is. It's
record
not.
stores just
We didn't put forth near the effort he does. This guy is next level. He's literally traveling. I never had to travel for things. I had a couple of times where I would travel for collections, but I mean, he's having to do that. You do not get the collection that he gets without doing what he does to get it. And he will go. I'm sure he's gone overseas. He's definitely crossed state lines to other areas to buy collections. He puts the amount of effort that I put in, he puts that times 20. I mean, he's just incredible. And I think that's what you have to do. We had a local record store here. Shawn knows about him. It used to be right down the street from where he lived before he moved to Athens. That did the same thing. And I think they finally maybe got a little bit burned out and just went exclusively new. Um, and I think he's taking the right route. He's getting stuff that to me it's unreal. He's not only getting unreal issues of things on Blue Note, but he's getting in some situations 3 and 4 copies of it. It's just insane. So yeah, I have vowed not to go there until I win the lottery.
yeah. Well, I spent like I won the lottery, let's put it that way. I went back a second time. I bought probably 10 or 12 records on day one. I had a gift card. That was my Christmas gift from my in-laws. Used that plus some of my own money, and I got back that night and had that the opposite of buyer's remorse, the not buying remorse, and I went back the second day and picked up some more stuff and found stuff that I didn't even see the first time, which is always fun. I have a great time in
Absolutely.
there. I have to be pulled out of there physically by people. My family just literally has to say it's time to leave. But it was great. I had a great time with that. We're gonna
Cool.
jump in here. Do you have something you want to do first? I've got the uncut ready to go.
I've got a couple things that just purchases to me that these both would have made my top 5 purchases that I've already done. So we'll say those are, they're what would they be? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are 1 and 2. I'm gonna go with number 2 first, and that's a reissue of a Super Drag record, another one called Last Call for Vitriol. Very different record for them. This is their most straightforward rock and roll alt rock record. A good portion of it is because this guy Sam Powers, who wasn't on their earlier records. I think this is the only record he was on. He writes a couple of songs. There's some really good stuff like Remain You're Strange, great song. Very different though. It is. There's still some shoegazy kind of dreamy moments, but this is pretty straightforward. Happy to get that. And then last but not least, and this would be my favorite purchase of the year, and this is ironic because eh, you know, we were making fun of record labels and industry not catching up with some of the stuff that was in demand. And we pointed out this record in particular, and lo and behold, it had been released earlier this year, and that's Michael Head and the Strands. The Wonderful World of the Strands. I'm telling you, or the magical world of the Strands. This album is just spectacular. I love Michael Head stuff, especially after listening to that Water Pistol record from Shaq. I have owned this record. I've owned this digitally. I've had it for years. I finally have it on vinyl, so I feel like it can be more official. There's something about having it physically and having it on vinyl that makes it gives you a little bit more of an attachment to it. I'm so happy to get this. They issued this. This is on white vinyl. Both of these are colored vinyl, by the way. They issued this at the beginning of the year, and I just totally didn't see it. Prior to that, they had a reissue in 2015, and then the original. All of these are UK pressings too. None of this was released in the US, which makes sense. They were huge in the UK, but the first pressing I want to say was like in France, or it wasn't in the UK. It was in a different area. So the original pressing is way out of print, very expensive, and even that reissue I think is selling for over $100. But sounds phenomenal. I implore you, Michael Head and the Strands, fantastic. So that's what I wanted to bring up.
Yeah. Yeah, great looking album cover. Yeah, I love him as well, and I years ago got into that HMS Fable record. Stepped off for a while, but then when we were talking about them a few weeks ago, because of the uncut random picks we were doing, it kind of both got us back on the Michael Head train. So I'm going to be getting that album as well. I'm going to try. I've got it listed in Discogs on my want list. So I'm going to be following a couple of those records to pick up when the price is right. All right.
Cool.
Well, we'll jump in. You want to do some uncut?
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, give me some numbers.
Um,
So everyone, as a reminder, Uncut, and here it is, the great UK magazine, 500 greatest albums of the 90s. Craig has the numbers checked off that he's already picked. He has no idea because he doesn't have the magazine where we're going to end up. Sometimes it's nothing that we know, and sometimes it's something brilliant or in between. So here we go.
all right, 84.
84. Oh, great way to start. Teenage Fan Club Grand Prix. Love this album.
Nice. Love that
Probably
album.
my third favorite album of theirs for me personally. Bandwagon-esque is always going to be number one. Where
What's
does this?
second for you?
Songs from Northern Britain. I love that album.
That is a great album. Their first 3 records are pretty. I mean, Grand Prix is their second one, and then what's the one with the basketball on it? Is that 13?
Yes.
What's that one called? Yeah,
I
13
think
sec
it's called
those 3
13.
albums back to back to back. I remember when 13 was released on CD, I mean, we got promo copies of it, we couldn't give it away. Like, just people in the States just did not know. Bandwagon-esque was huge on alternative radio, and it was huge in the UK, but I don't think it carried over to their next 2 records, and they didn't sell that well, but by the time they put out songs from, Northern Britain, and then they released one called Man Made, they kinda made a resurgence here in the States at least, and people started to go back and pay attention to how brilliant they were as pop songwriters. Love, love, love that band. I think the Grand Prix is probably my 2nd favorite album behind Bandwagon-esque is, like, seriously the best debut one of the best debut albums ever.
Yeah.
Um, Grand Prix is not far behind, though. That's an excellent album. You can't go wrong with any of their first 3 albums, but they're one of those things that start at the beginning and just move your way forward towards their more recent records, and I think you'll be very happy. You'll be happy with their evolution too as a band.
Yeah. I agree. All right.
Alright, 193.
193, The Wedding Present, Sea Monsters. That's a big next for me. Never really gotten into The Wedding Present. Very, very UK band. Very much a UK.
I tried with an album, I think it's called Watusi.
Yeah.
Um, I
That's their
tried with
most
them and I couldn't connect with them, so and because that is their signature album, I didn't try anything else. Um, but I'm game to give them another shot. It took me forever to get into, like, the Dream Syndicate, and there's several bands that had prominent records that I just didn't connect with initially, so I can go back and try to check them out, but I did not connect with it early on, so for right now, it's next.
Yeah, I'll just say this, it's referenced here as undoubtedly the best ever British grunge record. So,
Okay, cool.
interesting. Okay.
Alright, what about 228?
228. Neil Young and Crazy Horse, Weld.
So they had one called Arc and one called Weld, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I know I've listened to this before, but I'll be honest, I get a little confused with all the different live records.
yeah.
So this one kind of falls into that category. I love Neil Young though. This album came out in 91 and it's got all the classics on it and then he's got some of the, Rockin' in the Free World is on here, but it's got some of the older stuff. It kicks off with Hey Hey My My. I mean, you can't go wrong with Neil Young. That to me, I love his 70s output. I don't really
Right.
love his 80s output at all. And then
No.
late 80s, early 90s, he kicked it back into high gear. And for me, that was my second favorite period for Neil Young is the late 80s, early 90s. And this is from that time frame, those tours. So I need to go back and listen to it. Never really couldn't differentiate it though from some of the other live recordings he's done.
Yeah, I've never listened to Arc or Weld. I'm just not a live guy. I agree with you. I think 70s, bar none, is his pinnacle. And I think that resurgence he had to me in the 90s, I think partnering up with Pearl Jam gave him some extra oomph because they put out like Mirror Ball and they did that or Merkin Ball or whatever it was where they blended the two bands together, which I thought was really, really cool. So I agree with you. I love what he was doing in the 90s, but I'm just not a live album guy unless it's just, I don't know, there's only a few handful of live albums that I really love. So I probably won't go back and listen to this, but I do like that era and it sounds like a hell of a lineup of songs, but
Yeah.
I'll probably skip that one.
Yeah, I'll just mention
All
really
right.
fast. So 89 was Freedom and then 90 was Ragged Glory. They're both incredible records. Absolutely
Excellent
incredible.
records.
Yeah. All
Excellent.
right.
Those are excellent records for sure. What about 131?
Oh, 131, Slow Dive, Pygmalion.
Interesting. Um, can I tell you? I just don't know a whole lot. That's an album that for the longest time was out of print, at least in the CD world. You just couldn't get it. Um, I don't know a whole lot about that record, and I'm just not. There are a couple of, I think the first 2 records, you'll have to refresh me on this because 'cause I'm just not that skilled with them. I like Slow Dive, I don't love Slow Dive. I'll be honest. I started with the greatest hits and I loved it, and being an album guy, I went back and bought the albums and got rid of the greatest hits, and I regretted getting rid of the greatest hits because the albums as a whole didn't register with me as much. That's just
Yeah.
being 100% honest. And I love shoegaze. They're a very, very quiet shoegaze band. They're almost more dream pop than they are shoegaze.
Yeah, the first 2 records, Just for a Day and Souvlaki, 91
Souvlaki,
and
yeah.
93, they are, I think, more well known. Yeah, I don't know a lot about Pygmalion either. I like Neil Halstead's solo stuff a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm trying to think of the name of that record that he did around that same time. Really good, but yeah, we'll move on. I do like. I'm in the same camp with you. Like Soul Dive, don't love them. Kind of kind of in the same camp as I am with Secret Shine. I don't know that I
Yeah.
love all of their albums, but I love some of their songs, their greatest hits.
I agree, and I think somebody that I would equate this to with you in particular, and I think it pairs up well with them. I like the solo stuff. I like his follow-up stuff more than I do the original. I put him up there with the Galaxy 500.
Yeah,
I I just I like Galaxy, but I don't love them. I
yeah,
don't revere them as much as other people do.
right.
All right,
Okay.
164.
Okay, 164 is Honey's Dead, Jesus and Mary Chain.
Good record. Not
Not your favorite by them? You like you're a Psycho
no.
Candy.
I like Psycho Candy, and what was the other one that? Man,
Oh, Dark,
Rain.
something dark something.
Yeah, Darklands or something.
Yeah,
Um,
Darklands.
I'll I'll be honest. It's funny because somebody was talking about for the longest time about Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and they just didn't like them because they thought they were a retread of Jesus and Mary Chain. I think that there's another band. I like them. I like what they created. I think Psycho Candy in the right mood for it is stellar. Um, but I never really carried over with anything beyond that. Like I said, the second album I like, and then everything after that to me just couldn't register with it. But it's a band that I will always continue. Just like I'm going to continue to listen to My Bloody Valentine, Loveless until I get it. I'm going to
Yeah.
continue with this band because they're just too important. Their sound's too important. Like I said, it wasn't anything that I disliked. It just wasn't anything that really knocked me out of the park, you
Yeah,
know?
I don't keep going back to it, and that's usually a sign of something that I don't love. I don't
Right.
have those songs run through my head at some point, and I gotta go run and pull the record out. But I do like them. I don't love them. This album cover is super creepy. Wouldn't want
Yeah.
that hanging on my wall. It's a creepy looking album cover. It's like straight out of a horror film, but so it gets a low grade for that. But all right, what you got next?
57.
Oh, you know we're probably going to get a banger here. Well, this is one for you. Pulp, His and Hers.
Oh, excellent. Excellent record. Um, it's not a different class. It's not a different class is in a different class. Pun
Yeah.
intended. No, in all seriousness, His and Hers is great. And I just love Jarvis Cocker. I just think he's cool. I'm not always in the mood for their music as I would be. You could throw on a Blur record, you could throw on an Oasis record, you could throw on a lot of Brit pop, maybe even a Gene record, and I could probably find myself immediately in the mood for it. I have to be in the mood for Pulp because it's just different. It's almost like theatrical without, I don't know if that's the right terminology for it. They've just got a a different style, and that's why I think A Different Class to me is just one of those albums where I can get in the mood for all their stuff, where some of their other stuff, I don't know, This Is Hardcore is great. I love what am I talking about? I love Pulp. I could probably be coerced to be in the mood for their music at any time, and, it's probably maybe my 3rd favorite. I would say A Different Class, then This Is Hardcore, very different album, love that album, and then that one. So, I 57 is pretty low, but I see why it's there. Pulp is a very, very important band in the UK, so,
Yeah.
I yeah, I can justify it.
All right. I'll do a next on that.
Alright, what about 235?
Oh, you're making me work here. All right. American Caesar, Iggy Pop, 235. I have never, ever listened to this album. Can't give an opinion on it.
I can't say I don't know if I've listened to there was one album called Brick by Brick that I remember listening to, and I think that's a '90s record too. I can't say that I'm super in tune with any of his output really post 70s, to be honest. But I love Iggy. I love Iggy. I love the idea of Iggy. He was so instrumental in the punk movement.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you anything about that album. I don't think I've ever listened to it.
Yep. Same here. But yeah, love his 70s stuff. But I don't know a lot of his. I mean, he took a real nosedive for a number of years. I think this may have been one of his comebacks. But yeah, never listened to it.
All right. So that's 7. We got 3 more. What about 114?
Oh my gosh, one of my favorites. And I got to see them warming up for this tour. This is their second record, Atlanta band, the Black Crowes, the Southern Harmony and Musical Companion.
Oh, yeah.
What a phenomenal album. The first album was really good. Shake Your Money Maker was a really good album. This
Yeah.
album is a classic, in my opinion.
I totally agree. I think a lot of people I put it in the same realm of like License to Ill versus, Paul's Boutique. To
Yeah,
me, the progression between those 2 albums is paramount. I think Shaker Moneymaker is an excellent, great debut, great straightforward rock record. What they did with Southern Harmony, they took it up a notch. They got a lot grittier, a lot more soulful. I adore that album. I would say the follow-up, Amorica, very, very underrated record. Uh, Horrible choice of album covers, but those are my 2 favorite albums.
yeah,
I love the first one, don't get me wrong, and it's, I mean, if you're talking about the hits, a lot of the big hits are on that first album, because it was so polarizing. It was so different than anything else that was being released at the time. But I think that's what's really cool about Southern Harmony. You can tell the album cover is very much a depiction of where they were going for it. They go, okay, you've heard us kind of polished a little bit. Now we're going to get down in the mud. We're going to get dirty.
yeah,
And that album, I'm telling you, that album, seriously, I feel like it should be more regarded. I feel like it should have had more radio hits, but I think they intentionally went for something that was a little bit deeper and hype on just good on them for doing it because it's an album to me that has stood the test of time. Sometimes when I play that record, I still get chills.
yeah. Yeah, it's similar to me, the progression from the band, from music from Big Pink to the band. It just they figured out a little bit more about who they were. The first album for me, Shake Your Money Maker, is more like a great Stax record.
Yeah,
It's got some good horns and good soul to it. But then that next album, like you said, gritty was the word I was thinking of as well. It is a great. I don't even want to classify it as a Southern rock album, but it really, in my mind, when I listen to it, it's Southern blues at its best. They
yes, absolutely.
the the first album they were. I feel like at times they were trying to sound like other people. And the second record, they were finally comfortable
100%.
in their own skin, and that's
100%. Yep.
yeah. Love it. Okay. We'll move on, but oh my gosh, if you're listening to this and you've never listened to that album, go listen to Hotel Illness. Just if you've never really listened to a Black Crowes record and you maybe just know the hits, go listen to Hotel Illness or Remedy.
I
Start
would say
there.
some I would say Sometimes Salvation, hands down,
That's
one
a
of my
good one.
favorite Black Crow songs ever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that album just slays.
Yeah,
Check
it
it out.
does. All right.
All right, we are gonna go back a bit. What about 173?
Oh my gosh, we're hitting on some good ones. So we've hit on Teenage Fan Club, Grand Prix, Black Crowes, Southern Harmony, and now we're going with I was just thinking about I listened to a little bit of this record the other day. Ritual de lo Habitual of Jane's Addiction. I mean, come
Uh,
on. What an album. What a
we
way to
mentioned
follow
this
up
bef
Nothing Shocking.
I think Ritual de la Habitual was my pick for should have been in the Rolling Stone Top 500 because Nothing Shocking is in there, and I love that album. And Nothing Shocking is amazing. I don't know why this album is not more. It's not seen in the same light. I love the diversity. I think it's a little bit more diverse, a little bit deeper. I feel like they became a better band with this album. It's not as amped up, but then when you hear songs like Stop is as amped up as it gets. Um, but I think it's a byproduct of that single, Been Caught Stealing. Not a horrible song, but a very kitschy, bar none, the worst song to me on either record. Seriously, it really is. I see why it was a single. It was so funny to listen to it the first time, but it's not indicative of how deep that album is. It is so good. We talked about 3 days. If you haven't listened to Vinyl 4 podcast, check that out. We talked about 3 days. Seriously, one of the most epic songs ever written.
Yep.
I mean, it is just amazing. I think Classic Girl is one of the most beautiful songs. I
Yes.
love that album. In some aspects, I would think it's probably I prefer it over Nothing Shocking. And I know that's a that's a hot take. I love that album. I have so many fond memories of it, and that's a band that was just unlike anybody out there.
Yeah, I agree completely. And you stole all my thunder of all my favorite songs as well. I love Classic Girl. 3 Days is one of the absolute best songs of the era. They combined everything. They appealed to just about every category of music lover at the time, whether you were into more indie rock or alternative rock, or you were more of a headbanger metal. It was hard to find people that didn't like some of their stuff. Especially if they were
Yeah.
really into rock and roll, you were hard pressed to find someone that didn't like what Jane's Addiction was doing. We'll wrap up, move on to the next one, but talking about horrible album covers, horrible album. I know some people may think, "Oh, it's colorful and it's very artsy." I think it's a horrible album cover. Never liked it, but
Yeah, I
anyway.
think the both of them are questionable, that and Nothing Shocking, but I would take the album cover of Nothing Shocking over that any day. And I hope
Yeah,
that's not I hope that's not disrespecting somebody's art. I really do. But yeah, I'm with you. I don't love that album cover.
don't love it. Yeah. All right, last one.
Right. You ready? Last one. This is good. We're going out with a bang. 16.
I mean, you have been on a roll today with your random picks. Let's see where we land. Oh my gosh. I mean, killing it. What a way to end. We've talked about this guy a few times. They just finished a documentary of his that I went to the movie theater and actually watched it, and I've been obsessed, uh, re-obsessed, I should say, with Jeff Buckley ever since.
Yep.
Grace. It's a stunning, stunning masterpiece. If you've never listened to that album, and it's one of those albums to me you have to listen to more than once because you got to get acclimated to Jeff Buckley first. I
Oh,
believe if,
absolutely.
if if you've never heard him before, I think you have to wrap your head around this guy sings at a different level than anything you've heard before. I mean, you could say Chris Cornell or maybe at times Robert Plant, but no one sang like Jeff Buckley. And then the instrumentation, his band, everything that they did, the production and the songwriting's just amazing. I love this album so much.
Band is incredible. He was amazing. Um, it's a criminal that he was only able to release one studio album. I would
Yeah,
say as far as artists or bands that only put out one album, this has to be maybe the number one ever. Uh, Died tragically way too early. Total fluke. Um, that album is monumental, and it does take a lot to get used to it. He does a lot on that record. It rocks at times, like Eternal Life is just an absolute blistering song. Um, Last Goodbye is one of the most beautiful songs. But to me, it's some of the songs that are a little bit more unconventional, like Corpus Christi Carol is just, his voice is just absolutely earth-shatteringly good. He hits notes. It's beyond falsetto. Just he's amazing. It's hard to speak about how important this album was because it blew me away. I mean, I was already into like Elliott Smith, and then I discovered this, and I realized that I really love great singer-songwriters, and he and Elliott were both. But I will say too, uh, we have talked about doing some cover songs on our other podcast, Revinyl. There's a cover song on here that's one of the best ever, and that's Hallelujah. It's been done to death at this point because of him. I think he put that cover on the map. If you haven't seen him play that song live, I saw it, and I don't know if this was them recording it. It was a studio recording. It wasn't a performance to a general audience. So this is kind of like a BBC or in the studio. Literally, I got like halfway through it, and I was just crying. I was bawling because it's so beautiful. It's
yeah,
just, don't get me wrong. I love Leonard Cohen's version. He wrote it. It's amazing. Jeff Buckley's is just different. It's just un it's seriously, it's otherworldly. Yeah, this album, I'm so glad that they have this in their top 20,
yeah.
because it's that important of an album, and I'm dying to see that. I still haven't seen that documentary in the movie, so I definitely need to check that out.
It's so good, and it's going to put you back on a track. You're going to listen to Jeff Buckley for a week straight after that. Yeah, I'll echo what you said. Last Goodbye is my favorite song on the album. My favorite song that he ever did. Every time I hear it, it makes me sad because it is. I mean, look, if you're listening to this podcast, you never listen to Jeff Buckley. It is a sad song, especially when you realize that, whatever, a year or so later, he's no longer on this earth and had so much to contribute. He
Yep.
his original songs were so good and so original, but
Mhm.
to your point, his interpretation of Hallelujah, the things that he would have been able to do throughout his career if he was still around today, even if he was drying up on originals, he could have
Right.
been like an Al Green or an Aretha Franklin who could have taken other people's songs and made them something completely different and new because he just had that ability. I mean, the fact that he did this album right out of the gate,
Right.
first
Yep.
album, and it's already this mature, that's what I think people, when they listen to this, you gotta remember, I don't know, he was in his early 20s, and this is his first album, and he was already doing stuff this mature. It's an incredible work of art. Love it so much.
If you listen to, and we'll wrap things up, but just if you've, because I followed him a lot. I was buying bootlegs. I could not wait for unreleased recordings. So when they released sketches for My Sweetheart the Drunk, when they released that, I was super excited. And it's not nearly as good. It's not nearly as polished because he tried things. He was into things. I mean, the guy does a Screaming Jay Hawkins cover, which is just crazy. It just so his this goes back to artists and their what they love, and they're absorbing what they love, and then not necessarily reinterpreting it, just but internalizing that and somehow placing that discreetly in their music. That's what he was able to do. That's why Grace was such an amazing record, because it's all these various pieces that might not seem to fit together as a puzzle, but when you listen to it in its entirety, it works. So if you do like that and you're ready to dive deeper, definitely check out that double disc compilation. It's excellent, and you can see the things he was trying. Who knows if he ever meant to release any of that, but he recorded it because he was trying things. And when I heard that, I realized, okay, it's not nearly as good, but what I love about it is how daring he is or was as
Yeah.
an artist. He he's definitely a top 20 artist for me of all time, and in one album. One album.
Yeah.
That's how important this guy is. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's do this. I thought we'd have time maybe to do end of 70s and end of 80s, but let's just do end of 70s. Thought it'd be really cool to look back at the top 10 UK and US singles from December of 1979, wrapping up the 70s. Really fascinating. I took a quick peek at a couple of these. I think you're going to really get a kick out of this. Let's go as we always do with the UK first. I'm going to do the top
Okay.
10 songs in the UK December of 1979. Number 10, One Step Beyond, Madness. That's pretty cool. I
Ooh,
didn't realize that was a top 10 hit ever. I mean, it doesn't
that's
surprise me because
awesome.
the UK, they were pretty big in the UK, but I'm surprised that was a top 10 hit. Number 9, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Queen. That was huge in the US too.
Awesome.
You couldn't go anywhere with that. When I was a kid and I heard that song, I thought it was an Elvis song. Such a cool song. I love it.
Oh, yep. Agreed.
Number 8, Confusion slash Last Train to London, Electric Light Orchestra. ELO might be one of the
Nice.
most underrated bands ever. I mean, a
Mhm.
lot of younger people are getting into them now because I think they've had, been on some movie soundtracks and maybe some Instagram reels, but they're brilliant. Jeff Lynne is just
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yep.
Number 7 in the UK, December 1979, When You Were in Love with a Beautiful Woman, Dr. Hook. Great song.
Yep.
Great top 40 song. Number 6, oh, this is great. In the UK, Rapper's Delight, Sugar Hill Gang. I would have never
Oh,
guessed that
nice.
made the top 10 in the UK in '79. That's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Okay, number 5. Oh, wow. I Only Wanna Be With You, Tourist. Interesting.
Okay.
I I'm getting them confused. Tourist, was that Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart's band before Eurythmics?
I have no idea.
No
Honestly,
idea.
I do not know.
I feel like because they were in a band together before, they were in a band together before Eurythmics. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was Annie Lennox and, Dave Stewart before Eurythmics. Okay,
Cool. Okay.
cool. Alright, number 4, Que Sera Mi Vida, If You Should Go by Gibson Brothers. Alright. And then number 3, oh, wow. No More Tears, Enough Is Enough, Barbara Streisand and Donna Summer. Not my thing.
Yeah.
Number 2, and this is probably gonna be found on the US side as well, Another Brick in the Wall Part 2, Pink Floyd, of course,
Absolutely.
that owned the charts back then, and the number 1 song in the UK, December of 1979, you're gonna love this, The Police, Walking on the Moon.
Oh, nice.
I
Heck
had
yeah.
no idea that was
That's
a
a
number 1 hit.
Yeah, I can see that. Man, just that's Andy Summers' guitar. Oh,
Yeah,
that's at its peak right there. That's a great list.
that's
That's
a
one of the best top 10 lists I think we've had thus far.
I
Excellent.
agree. Yeah, and it's gonna completely outshine the US. I'm already looking, no doubt about it. Okay. In the US, December 1979, the number 10 song, Ladies Night, Kool and the Gang. I do love that song. I loved that song when it
I
came
love
out.
cool. I love Cool and the Gang. Anything they did, man, love them. So that's a great song.
That's a great song. All right, number 9 is Captain and Tennille, Do That To Me One More Time. I have to admit, I do have a soft spot for that song. I think it's a great song. I
Uh,
think her
I kind of
voice
have
was
a
so
nostalgic
sultry.
Yeah, I have a nostalgic soft spot just for Captain and Tennille in general, so
Yeah.
I'm down with them.
I
Down with
loved her
Captain.
voice. I just thought she
Yeah.
was fantastic. I think probably an early crush for me was Tennille. Was it Tony Tennille, I think it's her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, here's okay, this is cool. Number 7, You're Only Lonely, JD Souther.
Okay.
He was a part of that whole Eagles, Jackson Brown thing that was
Yeah.
going on in California.
Good
Okay,
song.
yeah, good song. Number 6, "Send One Your Love," Stevie Wonder. All
Okay.
right. Number 5, man, Barbara Streisand and Donna Summer, "No More Tears, Enough Is Enough." I'll be honest, I don't even know that song. I'm not even sure. I'm sure if I heard it, I go, "Oh, yeah, that song," but it's not
Yeah.
on my radar. Okay. Number 4, December '79, "Still" by Commodores. I love the Commodores, but I don't
Mm,
love "Still."
yeah.
Do you love that
I like
song?
it. I like it. I like it alright. I mean, it's not my favorite Commodore song, but I like it alright.
Okay. These next 3, I'm just gonna give a th I don't like any of these songs, and these are all so popular, such a big part of our culture. Number 3, this song to me is one of the most overrated songs, and every yacht rock band plays this song, and it's a clever song, but I just don't think it's a great song, not compared to some of the great yacht rock songs of the late '70s, early '80s, and that's the Pina Colada song, otherwise known as "Escape" by Rupert Holmes. It's so
Yeah.
clever, the story is clever, but I just don't think it's a great song. It's
Yeah.
just, meh.
Uh, I don't think it's a horrible song, I'm just over it.
Yeah, yes, I agree. Number 2, this is just dreadful, and it's not that this is probably the best song they ever did, at least in my opinion, but I still it's not enough for me. Casey and the Sunshine Band, "Please Don't
I
Go."
I hate them.
Uh, this is
I
where
just
America's
don't.
not showing well, dude, compared to the
Yeah,
UK.
not at all. I cannot. Somebody was playing that at the beach one time. I literally wanted to go over there and punch the woman.
Yeah, like,
I would
you
never hit a
please.
woman. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, I wanted my wife to punch her. Yeah.
Well, you wanted to let's say this, you wanted to take her speaker and throw it in the ocean. How about that?
I always say that, like, instead of, like, I don't wanna run you off the road or anything, I just want you to, like, if you're in the car and somebody does anything, it just wish they get a urinary tract infection or something like that, something that's not gonna, like, totally harm them, but they will
Right.
regret the actions that they make, and that's what
Yeah.
I wanted to happen to her. I want her to know, "Oh, I feel this bad because I actually had the audacity to play Casey and the frickin'
Mm.
Sunshine Band on the beach."
For all to hear. Well,
Ugh,
it doesn't get any better with
sorry.
the number 1 song in the US. To end the
Oh,
'70s, we're gonna end
okay.
it with "Babe" by Styx. A dreadful, dreadful song. And I love a lot of Styx songs.
Uh,
I love "Renegade", I love "Blue Collar
yeah, I
Man",
like Sticks.
I mean, I
I
love some of their
I
cheesy stuff. "Too Much Time on My Hands."
oh,
Ah,
love Too
but
Much Time on
"Babe",
My Hands.
"Babe" is
Yeah.
awful.
Yeah, that's not a good moment for them, but I do think they're an I remember there was a joke, that was a joke on that '70s show that Eric likes Sticks. I don't know if you ever watched that show, but they make fun of it because "Yeah, but you like Sticks," and I'm like, What's wrong with Sticks?" I'm
Yeah.
like,
Is there a
but
problem here?
that's yeah, right, but that's hands down one of their I'm not gonna say it's one of their worst songs, but it's not a good song.
It's not a good song. It wasn't their best moment, but you know what? It made them, I'm sure, a lot of money, or I know it made them a lot of
Sure.
money, and the record label a lot of money. Just not their finest hour, especially with the guys they had
Agreed.
in that band. They had some
Oh,
great
they
moments.
rocked.
It's kinda like REO Speedwagon. I think
Yep.
they have some amazing songs. I think Gary Richrath is one of the best guitarists out there, but some
Mhm.
of those songs, man, were hard to get
Yeah.
through, you know? But
Eh,
this was
sign of the times.
it's such a prom song. Babe is just a prom, like, homecoming
Oh,
court, just awful song. So, there we go. That's how we round it up. Alright, Craig.